Let's go ahead and start with a little bit of the baseball signings.
Okay. So the big one that actually happened while we were out playing pool on Tuesday is Correa signs with the Giants. 13 years, 350 million.
13 years.
I think that's a great fit.
I think it's a
Cor-
pretty good fit too. And I didn't really think of it too much in this way until I saw somebody else point it out on Twitter, but like such a stab at the Dodgers. Like,
yeah.
because the Dodgers already hate Correa.
Yep.
And now they're going to have to face him more than anybody else.
Yep. That's
uh,
not
so I love that
not quite as much as they would have in the past.
because of the
Be
change.
just because of the scheduling change, which I'm so excited for.
True.
But they will still see him quite a bit. And
Definitely.
everybody knows that's one of the, at least hate level wise, that's one of the
There's bad blood.
one of the three hottest baseball rivalries as far as
Yeah.
just pure hate. It's Red Sox Yankees at the top. You got Cardinals Cubs, and you got Dodgers Giants. Those are kind of the three.
Yeah. And then to add a guy like that that's pretty polarizing and you love him if he's on your team, you hate him if he's not.
And with the
Now,
Dodgers not really doing a lot this offseason so far, I mean they haven't really done much of anything except shed payroll.
yeah, and losing Trey Turner's pretty big, and then they just lost Justin Turner.
Yep.
Um,
Which
I
has
guess
been a
they're
stalwart for them.
yeah, I guess they're really thinking about turnering the page. Um,
I appreciate the effort.
yeah, it was worth the shot, but they you're right. It's tough too because the Padres are even making moves and doing stuff. So it's like, man, like what's gonna happen out west now?
I've got one for you. You might say it's a changing of the cinder guard.
Yes, great segue. So Noah Syndergaard signs for a year with the Dodgers.
Yep.
One of the bigger names, I guess you could say, on the market, not necessarily one of the bigger arms on the
hasn't
market.
hasn't had the production the last few years with the injuries. He's not nearly the pitcher that he was, 5-6 years ago, but
He's not Thor anymore,
no, no,
unfortunately.
he's Thor, but he's Thor at the beginning of which movie was Thor fat?
I'm
I
not.
don't
I
remember.
don't know, but I know where you're going with it. Yeah, the one where he's. Is it
that's
Ragnarok? I think it's
that's
Ragnarok.
the No, it's not Ragnarok. It's one of the Avengers movies, maybe Endgame part 74 or
It's
whatever it
probably
was.
Infinity War.
Whatever. Whatever the last Avenger movie was, I think that's the one, maybe, that was Fat Thor. But that's the Syndergaard that they're getting now. Proverbially, he's still pretty skinny, but as
True.
far as his arm is not quite what it once was. He's not throwing 100 anymore.
Nope, not anymore.
Um, other Another pitcher that signed is Carlos Rodon. Goes to the Yankees, 6 years, 162 million.
That's big.
It is big. I mean, the Yankees needed a little more depth in their pitching staff,
Yep.
rotation in particular. And Rodon, he's had some health issues in the past, but the last 2 years he's been healthy and really productive. So, if he can maintain that, if he can stay away from the injuries that he's had in the past and not have any arm troubles, it's probably a good signing. If you start off your rotation with Cole and Rodon, that's a pretty good one too.
Agreed.
But
Uh,
uh,
well, the Yankees, I mean, I feel like they haven't really lost too much.
no, they haven't lost much. No.
And so adding a guy like Rodon to a team that just went to I almost said Western Conference Finals, American League Championship.
Right.
Um, I mean,
Now,
that's why I
is
think
he
that's pretty big.
is he enough to close the gap to the Astros? It's hard to say.
It is hard to
You
say
know.
because y'all are making moves too, but you are gonna have to play the Rangers. uh, but no, so I do think that the Yankees are doing what they needed to do. They definitely needed to get Judge back. We already talked about that last
Yeah.
week. And they did that, and now they added a top pitcher off the market. So I mean, is it enough to close the gap? I don't know, but it doesn't matter if they close the gap or not if somebody else takes you out.
Well, that's not going to happen. I mean, let's be real here.
It can happen. I know it's been 6 straight
That's right.
ALCSs, but
That's right. It's about to be 7.
it can't last forever.
Sure, it can. Why
Nothing
not?
lasts forever.
Why can't it last forever? I don't see any
Anyone
reason why it
can
can't.
see.
I did want to like kind of talk about the Dodgers a little bit because worried's not the right word, but I'm I'm really kind of confused about what their plan is. Like if you look at their roster right now, it's a good roster. It's a good team. They'll probably win 90 plus games like they do every other year, but it's not the Dodgers that we've had for the past 6-7 years where you look at that team and it's just like it's stacked, it's got depth, it's it's a little thin. It's a little thin.
If I was a Dodgers fan, I would be worried.
Yeah,
I
they're
would. I mean, because they, like I already mentioned, they're in a division now where those other two teams that we already talked about, the Giants and the Padres, they're trying to compete like
right.
now.
The Giants got a
So
couple other. The Giants kind of do this every couple of years now, where they sign guys, starting pitchers that maybe have a little bit of a flaw. They sign them for a couple of seasons and turn their careers around. Essentially, it's kind of what they did with Rodon, where they signed him to a 2-year deal with an opt out, and it's like, okay, we bet that we can fix him. Not that Rodon necessarily needed fixing after the year before.
he just needs some rehab.
Need some rehab. He needed to stay healthy, and he did improve. But they signed Sean Manaea, guy that is a huge bounce back candidate if the Giants can kind of get him right. He really struggled with the Padres last year, but he's got a good arm. He's been a good pitcher.
He does. I agree.
And they also signed, I think, Ross Stripling.
That sounds right.
I could be wrong about that. And they also signed, there was another starter that they signed too. Like that's kind of what they do. They sign a bunch of these guys to like 2-year deals, somewhere between 10 and 15 million a year. And they plug them into that rotation. And if one or two of those guys hit, then they're in good shape. They also signed Mitch Haniger, who's a really good player, had a down year because of injury this year, but really good player from the Mariners.
So Crawford's moving to third?
I think so, yeah. So they've had, when healthy, they've had Evan Longoria there, but he's gone now. So I think the plan is for Crawford to play third, and they'll mix and match. I mean, the Giants, they do the
Joe Panic playing second.
Is it still Panic? It's not Panic. It's not Panic.
I don't remember right now. It hasn't been baseball season.
Right. Anyway, I'm interested to see how this division goes because
me too.
The Padres are as talented as the Dodgers.
Oh yeah, dude, and I mean getting Tatis back too, and they added Bogarts to that. I mean, dude, yeah, like it's gonna be fun to see that division.
This is the first time in a very long time that coming into the season with the NL West, at least as things stand right now, the Dodgers could make a huge trade. I don't know, but as things stand right now, this is the first time in almost a decade where I look at that division and I say, I'm not sure if the Dodgers win it.
Exactly. I'm right there with you, man.
I know they didn't win it a couple of years ago with the Giants, but nobody saw that Giants team coming. Nobody.
Yeah, they came out of nowhere, exactly. But now you actually have a couple teams that are right there next to you, and you're going to have to beat them out. It's not like I'm just going to have to take care of business and handle.
So I'm really curious to see how that division goes.
All right, we had a little skip there.
Yeah, it's all good. That's why we record. That's why we're recording this one each
Audio,
separately.
right?
But anyway, it's I guess we didn't talk about Swanson, your boy,
Yeah.
Aurora's heartthrob.
Well, it's kind of hard to be upset because obviously you want good players to get their money. You want them
Of course,
to get their
yeah.
money. But
7 years,
man,
177 million.
yeah, it's a lot of money. But going from like that's literally your hometown team. I know you won a World Series there already, but man, yeah, you were a big part of it.
I
Don't you
think
want to try and get another one?
I think this probably means that the Braves didn't want any part of that kind of money for Swanson.
Well, no, because they've already spent so much money in other
They have.
places.
They
They've spent a
have.
lot of money. So I understand in a way, but I also, because I mean, he's not going to be like, well, look, you didn't give this guy a discount. You didn't give this guy a discount. Like, I want my full money. So you can't blame him. Like I said, it's just kind of sad to see him go. It definitely was a better way to see somebody like that go than the way Freddie ended up leaving. So
Right.
it went way better in that regard. But to go to a team like the Cubs right now that seem like they're in a complete rebuild mode and sign for that long,
I
you
think that's
already
a
went
sign.
through. He already went through a full rebuild almost with the Braves already.
I
Like,
think it's a sign that the Cubs might at least think that they're ready to come out of the rebuild. Because they did, like, the Cubs did sign they signed Bellinger, so hoping for a bounce back there. Now that may just be sign him and trade him at midseason if he's playing well. But I don't know. The Cubs may be thinking that they're close to getting out of the rebuild and they're just signing him a year early or something. That could be. Only time will tell.
yeah, it feels weird. Not that it's a bad fit. Um, it's a good fit. Gets to stay in the National League. It's a good ballpark for him, and they needed a shortstop. So I mean, it's not a bad fit. It's just weird.
It will be strange. It will definitely be strange not seeing him line up for the Braves.
Yeah. Who are
And,
they gonna play at short now?
whew, I don't know. You're the Braves guy.
That's what I'm saying. Oof,
they
I don't know.
they have somebody coming up, maybe. 'Cause I
I'd
think
have
they're
to.
I don't know.
I don't know off the top of my head right now, to be honest with you. Like I said, it hasn't been baseball season. I've been
Long
wrapped
way to
up in other
go.
things. Right.
Long way to go before that decision necessarily needs to be made.